Hello everyone, welcome to my Fenix A320 descent tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you how to start the descent in this airliner, all the way down to final. First, we need to calculate some values in the EFB, the electronic flight bag. So, we are going to go to the EFB right here. We will be clicking on arrival performance, and here we will calculate the landing information that we need for auto brakes and to give us an idea of where exactly we will stop on the runway. So let's get started. Runway, this is 28 right at San Francisco International. We are going with dry. If it were raining, you would go from dry to poor, medium, depending on how bad conditions are, but we're going to keep it at dry since conditions are favorable. So we're going to go to the weather section. We are going to refresh the METAR. We are going to apply it. Here you should see the values populate. We have our winds, our temperature, and our pressure. That's 29.93 inches. So we are going to get down to the aircraft config section. We are going to introduce our landing weight. Now your landing weight you will be able to find on Simbrief or whatever flight planning tool you used to plan your flight. So really quickly we are going to check on Simbrief. We are going to check on our estimated landing weight, which is 138. 138.5 pounds. Tons. Actually, this is 138.5 tons. So, aircraft configuration, low auto brake should be enough. That gives us plenty of runway left over. We are going to set this to max reversers as standard operating procedure. We are going to go with a manual landing today. For tutorial purposes, we will select flaps full and we are leaving auto throttle on. Right, so once this is all filled out, we can leave it and we can head on over to the front panel here and we will select auto brake low, which is enough for this long San Francisco International 28 right runway. Next thing we want to do is we want to head on over to the FMC, the flight management computer. We are going to click on performance if we have not already. We will go on next phase again. We will then type in the barometric pressure that we were just looking at. So we go back to the EFB and we have 29.93. We will type this in. We also want to take a look at the temperature. So the temperature is 21 Celsius. We will enter this right now. Winds, very simple. You can find it right here. That's 330 at 13. So we will type this in very quickly. Trenches and flight level has already been selected for us. Everything else has already been calculated. There's no need to worry about that. We have ILS 28 right, which has already been selected for final. And we are going to select landing configuration full. And our barometric pressure, you should be able to see that in your chart. So if you can use Navigraph charts, that's great. If you're using another charts application, that is completely fine. So let me get that value for you. Give me 1 second here. Alright, so we are going with 213 for minimums. We are going to type that in baro. This is for ILS 28 right at San Francisco. Now that we're done with the FMC, we are going to go over to the front panel. 1 second here. We are going to type in our altitude, our descent altitude. Since we're not flying on VATSIM or anything, we are not flying with any ATC instructions, no air traffic control. We are just going to go directly down to the ILS localizer intercept altitude, which is 1,800. We are going to enter that there. And we need to take a look at just how close we are to the top of descent. We are about 19 nautical miles away. You can see this by going to the performance page and going to the cruise section. You can check that out here in distance to top of descent. Distance 17 nautical miles now. And alright, so we will wait until we are at about 5 nautical miles away from descent. In the meantime, just make sure you have your low auto brake set. Make sure your altitude is set, your initial descent altitude is set in the MCP. In our case, it's 1,800. And we will be turning on the seatbelt signs, not just yet, but shortly. And with that being said, we are pretty much good to go. So I'll see you at the start of the descent. Alright, so it is time to descend. We are heading over to the MCP over here. We are going to hit managed right here, arrow pointing up. Now we're starting our descent. And we will be descending all the way down to final, where I will conclude this tutorial. So very simple. Really all you have to do right now is watch the descent. Just watch your airspeed, watch your altitude. We are descending pretty rapidly. I am going to extend the ground spoilers. You might want to do this if this is the case with your descent. You're going to set them to 50%. And we're going to try to slow down a bit here. We're still going a bit fast, so I'll leave them on for just a little longer. And alright, I think I'll stop the use of the ground spoilers. So we're going to retract them. Alright. And I'm just going to zoom in a bit. I'm going to zoom in on the waypoints here. The next waypoint is nearly, which we will be crossing at flight level 200 and 280 knots. So since we've already started the descent, you'll want to look up at the overhead panel, and you'll want to turn the seatbelt signs back on if they aren't already on. Very good. With that being done, all you really have to do is make sure that you're hitting your waypoints at the correct altitude and speed. You might need to use the speed brake like I initially told you, and it's very simple. Just if you're in flight, drag it up to 50%. If you need to slow down or descend quicker, and then just put it back down. Alright, so with that being said, we're going to watch the aircraft descend all the way to 18,000 feet, which is our transition flight level. Once we're at 18,000 feet, we will push on this knob right here, and we will set the altimeter. We will set the altimeter, which is 29.903. So I'm just going to skip to that part. I'm not going to bore you with the descent, and we'll be back shortly. Alright, so we're almost at 18,000 feet. Another thing I did want to add is that in the A320 you typically get off of standard pressure at around 18,500, so we're going to do that right about now. Alright, almost there. Alright, there we go. We're going to set this to 29.903, and that's all good. So now all we have to do is wait until 10,000 feet. Shortly before we get to 10,000 feet, we will be reducing the speed to about 250 knots, below 250 knots actually, and we will be turning on the landing lights as we pass through 10,000 feet. So again, I will see you in a couple of moments as we continue descending. Alright, so we are about 1,000 feet away from 10,000 feet. We are going to start slowing down to 240. We're going to set that very quickly here. Speed 240 knots. We also need more drag, so we're going to get the speed brake up and running. And alright, so we're just going to watch the aircraft slow down to 240 knots. We will attempt to cross Follett at 8,000 feet. I believe we probably will, although it might be a close call. And we will be turning on the landing lights shortly. We are just 700 feet away from 10,000 feet. And we're just going to keep descending here. We're going to keep on watching this A320 descend into the bay. And we're at 240 knots now. And we're getting pretty close to 10,000 feet. So we are going to turn on the landing lights. And we already got the seatbelt signs on as they should be. All there's left to do now is to get ourselves on final, which I will end this tutorial, and a new tutorial after this will be the final approach, landing, and shutdown tutorial. So make sure you stay tuned for that. This is just going to be the descent tutorial. So we'll be taking it up to final and ending things there for now. Alright, so we no longer need the speed brake. We're going to put that down. It does look like we're going to be a little high at Follett, but that's not that big of a deal. We'll just keep on descending. It does say plus 8,000 anyway, so we're just fine. We do need to cross Eddy at 6,000 and Sidby above 4,000, Seepin above 3,000 as well. So we're going to level off at 8,000. It actually looks like I was wrong. We are going to make 8,000 at Follett. But anyways, enough details. We are going to continue our descent onto base here for ILS 28, right? And just to kill some time, we are just going to take a look outside. So if you look outside, you can see San Jose International off in the distance. Very nice airport. Much smaller than San Francisco. You can get a glimpse of Silicon Valley over to the right of the aircraft. And of course you have the bay off in the distance, so we will be turning left shortly. And you've also got the valley on the left side. Alright, so let's get back to the cockpit here. We are getting much closer to final, so we are going to start reducing the speed. We're going to go with 2 and 0. And let's go ahead and pop the spoilers out. To get us down quicker. So let's see. We're going a bit fast. Just while we have the spoilers out. Let's hope we can get the speed down. And we're on to Sidby in about 4 nautical miles. I think we'll want to hit 180 knots at around Seepin, just to make sure we're nice and slow. No panicking on final approach. Very important. It's just better to get your speed down early rather than just fighting your aircraft's own momentum once you're coming down to the land, of course. So we're going to try to do that. And I do think we should set the speed down to 180. We're going to set the speed down to 180 knots just to make sure that we're slow enough. We are having a bit of a struggle to get down there, but I think that the airspeed's starting to cooperate. We'll keep an eye on it, of course. And we'll be turning left onto base shortly. And we're just going to go ahead and end things right there. so let's go flaps 1. There we go. We're going to arm the speed brake now, since we're much closer to approach. Let's turn on the glide slope indicator. That'll give us the information for the ILS glide slope. We're turning left now. Turning left onto base, trying to get to 180 knots still. And alright, so speed brakes are armed, flaps 1, make sure you've got that set up. Once we stop turning, I'm going to stop the tutorial right here, and of course we will resume in the next tutorial where we actually land this thing. So, alright. Alright, pretty good. So, of course, thank you for watching. We will be continuing this tutorial series shortly. And, of course, we will be explaining how to get the aircraft down, how to park it and shut it down. And, of course, I'll see you in the next one.